Hi guys, welcome to the unboxing and full review of this Dragon Touch M7 Android tablet. This review is going to be quite long, so close to half an hour, but let's try to stay below half of an hour. So what we have here is a 7-inch Android tablet, and it is about $79. There is also a very similar 10-inch tablet from Dragon Touch for $99, and for both you get a $10 discount coupon on Amazon, so it's definitely not very expensive. There are some cheaper ones, but they usually come with some really bad stuff, so I would highly recommend to go with some kind of brand. I mean, it's not a Samsung, it's not an LG, it's not Sony, it's only Dragon Touch. But Dragon Touch, they haven't really disappointed me in the past, so I think that could be something good. Of course, I have to go through the whole review to find out if this thing is really what I'm expecting, but it has a couple of nice specs, and that was the reason why I bought it. First thing, it comes with Android 9, which is Android Pie, and it is supposed to be native, so no bloatware, no strange add-ons, no ads, no nothing. Yeah, this could be huge if we really get like a native Android 9.0. I mean, that's a huge advantage compared to other brands. If you buy a little bit cheaper, usually they say, yeah, we have Android 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatsoever. And if you really use them and you try to install apps, in a sudden they come up and say, yeah, you need to have at least Android 4.4. Yeah, are you kidding me? They're saying they have Android 5, 6 or whatsoever, and then apps are complaining, and that happens a lot. I mean, I've made already a review about the Yaos. It's a really famous tablet. A lot of people are buying it. I've already bought it. I mean, I'm happy apart from the Android version. Of course, it's highly faked. Everything is faked. The Android OS is fake, the CPU is fake, the storage is fake, everything is fake. So I'm not expecting here, but I will going to test that thoroughly, so you will know if this is really worth to buy. We only get a quad core. It's not a super fast thing. I mean, probably we won't be able to use it for the latest games. It's just, yeah, what we need to do a little bit of email, web browsing, some easy games, maybe for children. And what's the good thing is we can expand the memory up to 180 gigabytes with a microSD card, but the microSD card, of course, is not included here. So, but overall, I think this is something people could really go with. Not a top brand, as we know, the top brands usually are really expensive and a little bit overpriced, especially when it comes to tablets, which is not so much, yeah, it's not so much targeted anymore from like premium brands like Samsung and so on. So we get a huge user manual, but I mean, probably it's mostly about the Android software, so we probably are not going to use that a lot. We even get a charger and a charging cable. That's probably just a normal standard USB adapter. Let's check how strong it is. So I've checked on that and it says 1500 milliamps, so that wouldn't be too bad, but I will definitely check if we can charge so fast. And it comes with a micro USB cable, which is still standard. A little bit disappointing. Would be nice to see this USB-C, but it looks like, I mean, even yeah, even some premium brands are still using micro USB, I don't know why. Maybe they can save money on that. I couldn't find out. Here we get a 2-year warranty if we register within 7 days. Yeah, I guess they just write it as I think you can still register later, but I highly recommend to do that. I don't know if they have some support within US or Europe or wherever. If you have to send this thing back to China, yeah, it costs you a lot of money. I don't know if it's worth then, but at least in general we have these 2 years warranty, and here we get some information. I'm going to read that before I remove that. Here also on the back panel or back side, it is, yeah, it looks like it's pretty shiny, and we get also yeah, cover, and it was said, I think there was something said about a dual camera. Maybe it's just with the 10-inch display, so here definitely not a dual camera, but at least we get a yeah, flashlight, so that's good. Yeah, I'm going to read everything and then we'll go from there. So I've already plugged in, and yeah, we get 1.3 amps, which is pretty close to the promised 1.5 amps. Maybe we can use different charger and charge a little bit faster. So here I'm using this fast charger, which is really powerful, and I don't get even more or a faster charge, so we can definitely use the original black one. Looks like it's a decent product. So as we have been able to see, it is, or now we see it again, it is charged 63%, which is good. I mean, it's not perfect, but still there's quite some charge on it. Sometimes we get some equipment which is totally discharged, which is not good. So I've been reading this, and it explains just that if it doesn't turn on, that we have to charge it for 2 hours, and of course we have to hold the button for a couple of seconds till we see the screen turning on. Yeah, and if it doesn't turn on, then we have to first charge it, and explains a little bit how to use Android, which we definitely don't need. I mean, yeah, if you have no experience with Android, of course it is highly recommended to read. Apart from that, we can remove and maybe save it to protect. You never know. So here as well on the back side, and everything looks pretty good. I would say it's similar to like these Sony devices, which I really like. We have also a nice description regarding the buttons. Here we have a reset hole, that's a hole here. Then we have the turn on, turn off, the volume, yeah, up, down, and here of course the camera with the light. I'm going to use the camera and going to show you how good the camera is as well. So I'm going to turn it on. I hold this button on the right side, yeah, and here we see the Dragon Touch. So it is, at least it has some kind of branding in it. The question is only how much and how much bloatware do we really get. By the way, I think I got the point regarding the camera. Dual camera was meant to be like a camera in the back and camera in the front, so you can use yeah, cameras on both sides. Maybe also face detection. I don't know if this is working. I think it will take some time, and I'll pause the video for a moment. So this is how it looks when the screen comes on, like yeah, after a minute or two we click on start, and then I think we can, yeah, first thing is always to connect to the Wi-Fi and set up your account, and I'm going to do that. I'm not showing you that on the video, or at least I'll speed up this process a little bit. So there was really not much to do, really just the password for the Wi-Fi, and then do a couple of settings. Can be done in a minute or two. The strange thing is, where I had to enter the password for the Wi-Fi, it didn't proceed to the next screen, so I had to press skip. But apart from that, doesn't look too bad. The display, yeah, is on average. I would say it's not the fanciest display, or I mean the cover, but it looks like pretty responsive at the moment. So what I highly recommend is to connect to Wi-Fi and then wait for quite some time. I wouldn't do too much at the moment. I mean, you can start doing something, but you have to expect that some things are still running in the background for a couple of hours, which are slowing down the speed of this tablet. So if you want to play games at the moment, it could be definitely difficult, and it will improve usually after a couple of hours. Sometimes it needs even a couple of restarts, and I wouldn't be too worried at the moment if the tablet is slower than expected. So I'm going to install a few software and try a little bit around. So I installed everything, all the test apps, games, and other things, and I was quite happy with that. I mean, the installation worked pretty good, a little bit slow, but it worked even for PUBG, which is the latest, or yeah, one of the first-person shooters which are really famous. Millions of people are playing that on mobile devices. I've installed Need for Speed, a racing game. I've installed other stuff. Worked. I mean, took quite some time, but then I tried to start. I tried to start Need for Speed. It got stuck. I rebooted. I tried to start PUBG. It showed the first screen, then it stopped. I had to reboot. Then it created problems with rebooting, more and more problems with rebooting. I didn't get back to the normal screen, and after that, I got totally stuck. Now, yeah, what I did at the end, I hit the reset button with reset, or the thing that's the stick here which I've been using. That's something which we use for mobile phones, and I use this normal reset button. As you can see, that's the reset thing. I sticked it into that. It made some kind of click sound, and since then the screen is black and I cannot turn it on anymore, no matter how long I push on this button or combination of the buttons, even when I put it on charge for hours, and it does nothing anymore. This tablet is dead. Yeah, it's totally broken just because I installed PUBG Need for Speed, tried to do that, and I cannot reset it anymore. It's a total fail. But I will still leave a few comments about what you can expect if you don't ruin that tablet like me. What you could maybe expect out of the camera and other things. So I'll go to the PC and let you know about a few things which I've been recorded before the tablet totally broke down. By the way, I can do this first about the hardware. The screen is quite okay. I would say it is similar as with other devices. What I've noticed, there is some screen protector on it, and it's really quick and dirty made. Hope we can focus here, or where it's even worse, around the camera. Hope you can see that, how dirty that has been made. These are not different cameras. These are just bubbles around the camera. I mean, the camera is cut out, but around that there are bubbles. Also around here we see many bubbles everywhere. I think also this one here is a bubble. So the screen protector is really a bad thing. I mean, we cannot just remove it because there is nothing about Gorilla Glass mentioned, and if we remove it, we have to face probably scratches pretty soon. So it's a little bit a bad thing. The buttons worked pretty good. I haven't tried the microSD slot. I haven't tried the microphone opening, which is, I think, here. Yeah, here you have the microSD card. The charging port worked pretty good. I mean, overall the tablet looking pretty good, stable. Yeah, I like actually the design also with the printing here, all the prints for the reset on off and so on. Camera, yeah, it's not recessed, it's a little bit in danger to get scratches. But apart from that, I like the style, the design, everything. It's a little bit heavy. I mean, of course, it's not super expensive, so you cannot expect a super lightweight thing, but still, the hardware is pretty good. Also, the screen, the viewing angle. Unfortunately, I cannot show you that anymore, but the viewing angle, even on such an angle like we have now, about 170 degrees or something like that, you could see still the screen, and the brightness was good outside. The screen was pretty good readable, and I mean, it's on a really good level. It's not such cheap display which sometimes you will get with cheap devices. So I mean, the resolution is not great, of course. It's 600 by 1000, it's pretty low, but still you can definitely work with that and doing some email stuff and browsing, but still that will be super slow because the whole tablet is super slow. What bothered me the most is actually the huge frame around. I mean, when you hold the tablet, you think, yeah, it has a decent size. It's not so small, but watch this frame here. It's huge. It covers almost, I don't know, 20% of the whole area is just frame and useless. And it could be so much smaller and more lightweight and more easier to hold without this frame. So this is totally outdated design, of course, but of course I understand they have to save money at some point. So here I have a few picture and screenshots, unfortunately not much, but yeah, here are some pictures of the front camera. That's a 2.0 megapixel camera, and the pictures are not bad. I think for a 2 megapixel camera, it's really good. I mean, yeah, the colors are good. The white balance is very good. Yeah, we have more. I mean, of course, the dynamic range is pretty low. The dark areas are really dark, but I mean, you look at the sky is really blue. The green, I mean, the plants, trees are really green, nice. Yeah, colors are really good. Here in the back, the screen is a little bit suffering from the low dynamic range, I think. Yeah. Also, this is not bad, I would say. For 2 megapixel, that's good. Yeah, against the sun, yeah, really bad. Yeah, limited, but still, yeah, this is not too bad. But yeah, that's a video with the front cam. I mean, with the main camera. Yeah, it's surprisingly bad quality. I was expecting a little bit better. I mean, the pictures are actually better, so it should be possible to make better videos with a 2.0 megapixel camera. There is definitely no stabilization, and looks like there's not even an electronic stabilization. I mean, usually when you don't have optical image stabilization, you have at least electronic image stabilization, but it looks like the CPU performance is so weak it's not even able to electronically stabilize. Then we have some screenshots. Luckily, I've made some screenshots with the fake device test, and we can see, yes, it confirmed the resolution 1024 by 600, and the OS was passed, but when I went to the settings and the OS, it said I can update, but an update looks like within Android 9. So Android 9 was confirmed, and there seemed to be really no bloatware. I haven't found any pre-installed software apart from the things from Android and Google. This is really good. Internal storage also passed the test, so it looks like everything from the hardware, also the 4-core from the CPU, everything was really confirmed, and I haven't found any fake. I mean, everything what is described is what you actually find. This is what I actually was expecting from Dragon Touch, because it is some kind of a brand. I mean, it's not a premium brand, but it is a brand. But again, performance was super low. I mean, I definitely was able to install the 1.64 gigabytes of PUBG, but I haven't been able to run it. It was not even starting, and other games too, I mean, like the Need for Speed, it was not even starting, and then probably filling or overriding some things and destroying the whole operating system, so I'm not even able to reboot again, which is really sad. I also installed the Antutu benchmark test. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that, and yeah, so finally I have no clue how fast or how slow the CPU really is, but I think it's super slow. I mean, even when I was making these pictures, the camera was so slow, it was really annoying. It was hard to make any pictures and videos, change the settings and so on. So I think this configuration was probably already outdated maybe 5 years ago, and these days in 2020 this is actually a complete no-go with this configuration. Everything is totally outdated. I mean, the hardware, except from CPU and RAM and so, is really decent, it's nice, but except from the huge border, so it is a strange combination to have a really nice operating system with Android 9, no bloatware, no nothing, which is super really clean and tempting, and then on the other hand we have this really absolutely outdated hardware, which I mean CPU and RAM and everything, I mean, which I really don't suggest to buy. Maybe you can use that for small children up to 5 years or so, if you want to give them something to play with 2 or 3 games, but you can do that probably cheaper, and you can accept maybe some bloatware. And yeah, it's definitely not something which I really like. I mean, the idea is good. I don't understand why they didn't invest maybe $10 more into faster CPU and more RAM, and to provide a decent user experience, but this is for me complete and no-go. I still put down the link to the listing into the description, so you can check it out and see what I mean, and if you are checking just similar devices, I can highly recommend to stay away from such configurations. So that's it for now. I hope I was able to help you a little bit with that. If you have any questions or comments, just write to the comment section below, and I'm always happy to talk about these things. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.